Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday and welcome to the Million Mom Movement. We are the activist arm within our incredible superfood community called Purium. And my name is Dominique Jeffries. I am a Green Diamond leader with the company. I've been a part of this community for 5 years, and I'm so blessed to be a leader on this council. I'm joined tonight with my fellow council member, Naeva Flory, and today we are having a presentation just to acknowledge and honor the postpartum journey, not just for moms, but for the family as a whole. Because here at Purium, our mission is to be able to create a whole new world for families, specifically a lifestyle where families have the financial freedom to be able to be home and be present with their children, and also the nourishment that they need to nurture their nervous systems, their mindset, and their spirit through pure organic superfood nutrition. So we have so many families that are here with us tonight, and as well as just a part of our community. And we really are adamant about sharing this opportunity because there are so many families in the world who unfortunately have to cut their time at home short with their newborns, with their loved ones. They maybe don't have the community to support them or to nourish them throughout this journey. And this village that we're creating, not just with Purium, but throughout this country, is really for us to be able to provide solutions so that families don't feel depleted or feel alone on this journey. So tonight's presentation, we're more so going to focus on the business opportunity, but we have a few guests that are going to share how this opportunity has supported them both physically and financially. And we're going to get into that in just a second. But if you're new here to our community, we always start our calls off with our pledge. So if anyone would like to volunteer, if you could raise your virtual hand and let us know if you would like to read our pledge aloud. Anyone like to read it? You go ahead and pull it up. Okay, maybe I'll call on someone. I see Rita. Would you like to read it?
Yeah, I'm happy to. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the Million Mom Movement pledge. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations, and I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement.
Thank you so much for reading that. And I know you are one of our guests that's going to share your story, later on and during this presentation. But if you could just share a little bit about what this pledge means to you and your family.
Yeah, well, I mean, even before being a mama, just seeing how many toxins end up in our environment and in our food, and our communities. So this is really important to me. I mean, I grew up with my mama as an organic gardener, so I got exposure to this at a young age, and that was really helpful for me for every phase of life. But being able to bring this awareness into our schools and to our communities can change everything, from mental well-being of our children to athletics to the way we show up in the world. Like it really has a huge ripple impact. So I'm really grateful for this community.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I know we're grateful for you too, even just from my own experience being a part of this community and hearing stories like yours, right, where you did grow up eating cleaner, eating organic, and had, those resources available to you and had the knowledge. Um, it shows how diverse our community is. And just from my own story, I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. I did not have a lot of access to organic foods and also didn't even really understand the connection to how organic foods and cleaner foods really can support your nervous system and can support how you show up in the world. And so it wasn't until I found Purium that it just kind of opened my eyes to what's possible to our quality of life and the way that we can really be able to express our gifts when we are in a space of cleanliness and we feel really grounded in our bodies through nutrition. And so I really like to share all these different stories because we all have our own backgrounds, we all have our own journeys, but we somehow come together, through this mission, and it's really beautiful. So thank you all for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to Naeva. She's gonna share her journey. She is a mom and actually found this community during her postpartum journey with her second child, and would love for you to share how this business, this community, and this nutrition has nourished you over the past decade, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. I am so grateful that somebody shared this opportunity with me when she did. And it happened to actually be my midwife who was really encouraging me, even during my pregnancy, to get these superfoods for better nutrition and just have something super easy and bioavailable on hand to nourish myself. As a super busy mom, I had four stepkids and my older son. So I had, five kids in four different schools. My life was super busy throughout my pregnancy. And then I had my baby. And so, I was really burning the candle at both ends, and she was trying to help me see that I could actually do something for myself to support myself through this time of life. And so I did. I decided to try it, and it was a life changer. It was something that totally was night and day for me. I had been, just trying to stay on top of my nutrition and stay healthy through my pregnancy. And something that was different for me is that I really had this idea in my mind that Purium was a cleansing company or cleansing products, and so I didn't want to use them during pregnancy. And I found out postpartum, when I did start introducing the superfoods to my lifestyle, that I could have actually been using them throughout my pregnancy. So I just want to say that here. If you're pregnant, definitely dive into the superfoods and support yourself throughout your pregnancy as well. And, this was something that was so great for me postpartum because it was something that I could, grab and go with the baby. I didn't have to cook anything or prepare anything. You could literally make it one-handed if you have to, which anybody that has been a new mom knows the struggle that sometimes, a lot of times at the beginning, you always have a baby in one hand and you're learning how to do everything else one-handed as well. And so this was such a blessing for me. And I actually, because we had a big family and my husband was working 6 days a week, I actually didn't want to ask him for the few $100s to invest in myself. Like I was really aware of our financial situation, the fact that this was, something that to me was an extra expense at the time. I didn't see it as food, which I quickly came to realize that this was actually part of our food budget and not an extra thing that I was some supplementation. And so, in learning that, the investment was actually, such a godsend because I started saving money when using these superfoods. So on my own, I actually saved up for a couple months and paid off my credit card so that I could buy my superfoods with, like I paid off enough on my credit card so that I could buy my superfoods on there and remaxed out my credit card to be able to buy the superfoods. But I knew that there was a business opportunity that came with it. And so that was really what I was leaning into, was the fact that I was buying superfoods to nourish myself and help myself, be able to pour from a full cup every day. And at the same time, there could be an opportunity that I could pay off that credit card that I had just maxed out. And so I had that idea in the back of my mind that, wow, well, what if I could, use this amount of money and then be able to pay off this credit card? And so, that first month I was using the superfoods. There was other moms that, saw that I had more energy. They're like, "Wow, your hair's getting thicker, your skin's glowing, you have more energy. How do you do it with 6 kids? Like, what are you doing?" And so it really came naturally to just share the journey of what I had added in. Like, the new thing that had changed for me was adding in the superfoods. And that naturally turned into, acquiring a few customers and a couple brand partners of people that wanted to do this business with me. And that's really where it all started. My first month, I made my money back, which to me was amazing. I was just, blown away that I could use something, recommend it, and make that money back pretty quickly. My second month, I went into profit, and that trajectory just kept moving forward. And really, a big part of it was being able to attend a Purium event in my first month. So if you ever have the opportunity to attend a Purium event in your area or the Purium convention coming up, definitely lean into that because that really helped to change my mindset and meet other people that were being successful. So it really started for the nourishment for me and pretty quickly became something that was a huge blessing. In that second month, when I went into profit, I also had gotten a letter from my boss. It was my 6th month of maternity leave, and she was inviting me back to work. And so I got that letter and I sat with it, and the overwhelm set in of what would I do? I was going to put my little baby in daycare so I could work a few hours a week so that I could make $11.50 an hour. And when I thought about it, if you know how much daycare is, I would be making gas money to drive him to daycare and back at the end of the day, which just didn't make sense to me anymore. And so that's when I had gotten that paycheck, and it just made sense to me to lean into this business opportunity that allowed me to be at home with my baby and create an income that supported me and how I could support others on their health journey as well. So that's really where it all started for me. And it's been 11 years that I've been using these superfoods, and I'm so grateful that they came into my life. I'm so grateful somebody shared them with me. And if somebody shared this with you, then definitely lean into this opportunity because it's been such a blessing. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for sharing, Naiva. Yeah, I love your story. And I didn't know, especially that part that you mentioned that your boss called you back at the same time where you had to really sit with like, do I want to go back to this, kind of survival mode where I'm not really nourished, I'm not happy, or do I want to invest in myself and take this leap for the future of my family, right? And I have a similar story to that too. I'm not a mom at the moment or right now, but when I found this opportunity, it was during the pandemic, and I had just been laid off from my hostessing job. And within my first 2 months of this business, I actually matched a week's worth of income from the restaurant, actually working this Purian business from my living room floor. And when it dawned on me how simple it was to earn income, but also to feel so nourished by our community, because I was not only just making income by myself, but I was working with some of my coworkers at the restaurant. And that same week that I matched that income, my boss called me back to work too and said, "Hey, would you like to come back? We have a position for you." And I also told her no. So making those decisions, it can feel scary in the moment, but it was the best decision I've ever made. And it's been such a journey just leaning into my own power as a woman and creating this vision that I see for my future family. And hearing stories like yours, Naiva, and a lot of the other women that we have today that are going to share that we are really leading the future of our lineage. And it starts with decisions like this. It starts with our nourishment, investing in our health, and then investing in our financial well-being through this business opportunity. So yeah, thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing
And
that.
I just want to add in too that how I had started the story was that I had invested my last available amount on my credit card. Well, in the next 6 months that I started the business, I paid off that credit card and many others. And so I kind of
Yeah.
forgot my punchline there, but I wanted to add it in. That was, something that was able to happen that if I would have kept working at my regular job, I would have literally just been paying for daycare and maybe, able to put gas in my car, but really not much more. And so that reality just wouldn't have been the same with the amount of time that I could put into this business versus, an hour for dollar model. So definitely super blessed for this business opportunity and how far we've come over the past years as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next guest, Rita Fleming. I've just watched you over the years. I remember when I first started my business, watching you and your sister grow, and me and my sister were like, "Oh my gosh, like I love what they're building for their families." And then watching you now, have your beautiful baby girl. Just would love to hear you share your story of what this experience has been like being, through postpartum, your pregnancy journey and everything, but also especially how having built this business before you had your baby, how that has really nourished you and your family and just feeling safe to be able to be present during that time.
Thank you so much, Dominique. And it's been really beautiful watching you and your sister in this as well. We're always cheering each other on. And I'm just beyond blessed to be part of this community. I dove into this community about 6 years ago, and my little sister introduced me to this. And she, provided me an incredible solution to come home to myself, which I hadn't felt that in 15 years. And I honestly tried everything. So this gave me back my passion to show up for life 100%, to be able to show up for my nephews, and now to be able to show up for my daughter in the way that I want to. And when I was first introduced to this, I had sent out a prayer and I was praying for a solution, a way to create a legacy of freedom for my family. And I didn't know how to do it. And I also wanted to help people feel as alive as possible, like truly love life, live life to the fullest, feel alive. And I didn't know that Purium was going to be the answer to all of that and so much more. So my sister and I together, we've been able to retire our mom, and we've also been able to create the lifestyle that we want to. So I've been watching my sister run around, traveling, homeschooling, one of her kids. She has 3 kids, and the freedom it's allotted her. And I really wanted to create that foundation and that platform for myself. And thank goodness for this community. It's allowed me to have that. So even going into my pregnancy, I was really nourished on the physical level, on the emotional level, and on the nervous system level. And then because I had created that foundation of financial freedom for us, I also was able to be present throughout my pregnancy. And I know everyone's pregnancy is different, but for me, I loved being pregnant. Like I loved it. And it was so blissful. And these superfoods were a huge, huge part of that, right? Being able to be present for the experience, being able to be really nourished for myself and for my baby. And then I had a beautiful, super healthy baby girl. She's 6 months old now. And, she started crawling at 5 months. She's hilarious, like so much fun, incredibly healthy, really strong nervous system and core and spine, started sitting up on her own at 5 months. So she's, yeah, just such a joy to be around. And because of this beautiful business, this community, this partnership, this leverage, what we've all built together, not only has it allowed me to impact thousands of people, like way more than I'd be able to on my own. Because I was building a business on my own prior to this, and it was a fraction of the impact I've been able to make with this. But it's also given me the freedom to fully be present with my baby girl. So I get to plan my schedule. I get to work my Purium business 2 to 3 hours a day. And then the rest, her and I are just playing, exploring. We went hiking all morning in the canyons and in the mountains. We went camping last night. So I'm getting to show her my favorite places. And, I really want to provide that knowing, that option, that hope to others, that's available to them. Because what a beautiful world, we would live in if mothers weren't stressed trying to not only be a new mother, which is a lot, but also, having to um, bring that financial piece in. So having those bases covered and helping others to do the same and pay it forward is really amazing and such a gift. And I'm just so grateful for this community because I haven't come across anything like it as far as the integrity, the mission, the depth, the community, the amount of leadership and development that I've gained here and built here. And then, of course, being able to pay that forward to others. So that's really what this community is about. And I'm so grateful that I get to hang with my baby girl and provide that for our family. So that's really the legacy we're leading and leaving and passing forward. And my sister was a big part of that inspiration. So thanks, Mary.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, like I said, I resonate so much with your story. And my sister introduced me to this business. And wow, it's just been such a blessing for our family, just working together and just, the vision that we see for what we're creating for our family when we do have children and we do, settle down and being able to really provide for our family, our parents as well. So watching, you and your sister do it together is just so inspiring. And I love that you were able to be so present and that you had the resources through this business that you built over the years to support you. So, if you are on this call and you are a part of our community, you are a part of our business community, and, you're building something for your family, just listen to these stories and know that it is possible to continue to share because you never know who you can share this with and whose life you can change and inspire, just like yours was, right? So thank you so much. And yeah, go ahead and add if you wanted to add anything.
Yeah. I just wanted to add in because there's so much to this, right? Also, the postpartum journey has been amazing, right? I think it's possible to have a blissful postpartum, supported postpartum. Of course, it's has its challenges, but I would definitely just want to share how much these superfoods have supported my body, my nervous system, my hormones, my balance, and knowing that I can show up strong. So that's another piece of it, right? It's really such a gift that keeps on giving, from the health to the finances to the vision to the legacy to honestly creating a different trajectory for our kids.
Yeah, feeling safe in that space to be able to step away from your business and know that things can still continue to flow because of
Yes.
the systems we have in place, because of the leverage, but also just because of your own nervous system being prepared for it too. I think that we can have the systems and the leverage there, but if we're in our head about is everything going to work without me, then it's not, that's not the state of being we want to be in or mindset we want to have. So yeah, thank you for adding that piece in too. Yeah, so thank you, Rita, for sharing your story. And then we do have one more guest, Jennifer. She actually is very new into her journey. So we heard from Naeva. We also heard from Rita, who've been a part of this community for years now. And Jennifer is actually 77 days today into her ultimate lifestyle transformation. And Jennifer, we were just catching up before this call. I don't want to share too much of your journey, but I know you are a mom of five in California, and just would love for you to share how you were introduced to this community, to this transformation, what really drew you to saying yes to yourself in, transforming, supporting your body through these superfoods, but also what inspired you to partner in business.
Okay, so I heard about Purium because a childhood friend came across my Instagram suggested. So I looked at her feed for a little bit. She was public, and I looked at her feed for a little bit and said, okay, yeah, she's got some good, healthy-minded posts. I'll follow her. She could be encouraging. And it was a couple weeks in, I finally reached out and said, okay, what is this green drink that you are, posting about? So of course, she sent me all the videos and we set up a call and stuff. And it took me about a week to go over my husband and my finances, seeing what are we actually already spending on ourselves while he's at work, what's he, spending at the gas station for energy drinks, what am I spending, on Starbucks and fast food and, even salads, at where he works, they're prepped. And we jumped on right away, just for myself. We said, we'll do this for myself, for my health. And when I got my box, actually, 2 days later, he said, okay, I want to do this too. My friend Cynthia, she pitched me the business right away, knowing that I'm a family of seven, and it was like an investment, kind of like Nayeva was saying. She pitched me the business right away, and we launched 3 days after I started. So I invited all my friends and family, and I got some takers from that, and so within the first month, I was able to pay for my 90-day transformation. So that made me feel so good because, I didn't feel so guilty about, doing this. Then I was feeling so good. I have a 9-month-old. So I'm also postpartum fresh right now. And I was just feeling so good that next week I said, let's go to Knott's Berry Farm, and that's actually when I was nursing my baby in Knott's Berry Farm, in my carrier, in Camp Snoopy. That's actually when my first purchase went through. So that was amazing. I think that's like location freedom. For me, that's what that means, to be able to have my kids somewhere fun. I've got kids from 9 months to 17 years old. So, there they can all have fun. And so that just felt amazing. And it just motivated me to, want to keep going. The health transformation that I'm having, I'm 38 years old. So I'm kind of old to be having babies, but mostly because of what I've been doing to my body all these years. Now that I'm on this health transformation, I'm feeling so much better. I'm getting rid of medications that I've only been taking because of my, terrible lifestyle. And I'm feeling so good. My husband's feeling so good. One of my teenagers started her ultimate lifestyle transformation today. So she started, doing all that, and she loves the shake. And so that's good because, even some of these adults are not liking it. And I'm just looking forward to being able to pay for these products for my whole family. You know, I see that. I see that there. I know it's going to happen real soon. I'm so motivated to just tell all my friends and family for their health, but also, I have so many cousins and friends who are moms and who are looking to, go back to work. And my, nephew just had a baby, and I'm trying to get, my new niece on as a business partner because I hate to see her leave her baby. Um, yeah, I'm so happy about that part. And one of my daughters is going to be 18 in the fall, and I'm kind of training her on the side because she's going to college, but I want her to look at this too as something that she can do because I know she wants that location freedom too. I know she doesn't want to be stuck at a 9 to 5. She has some health issues herself with her energy gets depleted, so I want her to be able to focus on herself as a young adult and not just give all her time and energy to someone else's business. um what else? Yeah, I was super thrilled when this is another thing that made me not feel so guilty, but not just not feel guilty but feel proud about what I was doing, was when we were looking at the bank statement, and school's first credit union, which I use, put Purium under groceries. It categorized it as groceries. And so that's, I kind of showed my husband and I said, see, like even, it's, categorizing that as groceries. And so, because that's exactly what it is. It's our groceries. And so we're going to go from transfer spending to, profit super, super soon. I'm excited.
Wow, congratulations. Put some love in the chat for Jennifer, please, because I love capturing new stories and just hearing people that are, new into this experience and this journey. And I just want to first honor you and your family for doing this together, right? Like I love that your husband jumped in 3 days after you. Sometimes it takes the dads or the partners a little bit later after your transformations to kind of get on board. But I love that he supported you on this journey, and also that you guys sat down together and said, okay, let's be transparent with where we are and what we're eating right now, where we're, kind of spending our money on food that doesn't really support us, and how can we transfer spend. And your story is really a testimony to why Amy Venner really started this movement. The Million Mom movement was because she wanted families to at least just bare minimum be able to use this business opportunity to cover their nutrition, to cover their grocery bill, so that when you go to the grocery store, you don't have to feel like you have to sacrifice by eating foods that might not be, organic or the highest quality just because of the price, but to have the freedom to choose. And then from there, obviously being able to scale your business and, have more profit and cover the things that your family really needs. So the fact that you already covered your 90-day program is incredible. And then, just having this vision for what you see for your entire family to have these foods, to be able to nourish them. I have a question though. Have you ever had any experience in network marketing before, or sales or nutrition at all?
None whatsoever. I've been a para-educator for special education my entire adult life. And recently, I have two teenagers, and then I have a 6-year-old, 2.5-year-old, and a 9-month-old. So I started all over, and I haven't been working, with these little ones. But working in special education is so fulfilling, for your heart and self. And I've been missing that a little bit, especially, when school's coming up and Target's got all the cute stuff for the classroom, and I kind of miss it. But being able to share this like these health foods, this opportunity for my friends and family and my community to, reach better health, is also, it's almost more fulfilling actually, so it's not just about the money or being able to be here, but being able to help people. That's also what's motivating me.
Absolutely. Wow. I think because I can resonate with what you say too, is that it's very fulfilling, this business model and this opportunity, because you're kind of honestly putting your family or your community in position to to transform their own health, like on their own, right? Like you're sharing a tool, but it's their experience, it's their journey. And it's not something that you have to really be so physically connected to where like you're kind of holding their hand through everything and you're lifting them up, but it's more about like them having the experience and still being supportive, through the community and through the resources we have. But I love that you don't have any background in this business. And that's the blessing of it, right? Is that anyone can share a green juice. You don't have to be a nutritionist or know every single ingredient in the power shake or any of our superfoods. But if you try it, you like it, and whatever it does to transform you, whether you like the taste of it and you want to share it like that, or if because, it helps you on your health journey, then you can share that and really inspire people just like, that you're doing. And so I just wanted to reiterate that I didn't have any experience in business or network marketing. I'd never even heard of network marketing before I partnered with Purium. And sometimes I kind of think that that's a good thing because I came into this opportunity with just a fresh set of eyes, right? I was really excited to share and I was really excited to just have this experience and then to document my journey. But no matter where you are or, where you come into this business, if you do have experience before, what you will find here with Purium is so unique and it's unlike anything else that's out there. And I'm sure you can probably already tell just from the stories that that you've heard so far. I feel like there was another question I was going to ask you, Jennifer. There was so much that you touched on that was incredible. Well, first of all, you did say that you had, your last child at an older age. I don't even keep that in your mind at all. Old is not even anything we want to even share. Age is just literally a number. My mom had me at 38 and I'm thriving and she didn't have organic superfoods or anything. So I wanted to acknowledge that too. And yeah, just want to congratulate you on your journey and to continue on. I don't know if you have any last things you want to share. Oh, wow. Rita said I'm 39 with her first. So with Purium, anything is possible and you have the support before your pregnancy, during, and even after. But Jennifer, yeah. Oh, I was going to ask you, do you have anything you can share to the support that you've had in this community? Whether it's just through business or just through your health journey with launching something like this that you've never done before. Can you speak to the support with your team, your mentors?
My coach, thank you so much to you because she literally answers every text, every, Instagram, she speaks with me every single day. She doesn't have to, but she does. And my team, is very organized and encouraging, and I'm just, like even when I worked in, I had a union, for the school district and I had a team, I didn't feel that supported. We were there with each other in person every single day, but I feel super supported. All my questions are answered all the time, constantly praised. People need that, when you're new at something because, no sales at all, no health, no health background. I never worked in healthcare or, that's what I love about it too, is that we're using this product. So it's genuine, like our experiences are genuine. We're not saying, try this lipstick or try this hair stuff, we're not using it ourselves, we're genuine about what we're sharing. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
It did. Yeah, because that's the beauty of this business model is leverage, right? That's what Rita was speaking to, is being able to leverage the knowledge, the team, the support, from others so that you don't have to feel like you're coming into this business alone. And then also just being postpartum, right? Like having the support in general, just to be able to support yourself, your physical body, make sure that you're nourished, your baby's nourished, but to launch a business at the same time can be overwhelming with so many, children and all the other things that you have going on in your life. So to have a team that supports you in being successful here, right? Like your success is collaborative. And I think that that's really important for moms to know too, that they aren't alone, that they can have that support. I have a friend who was working and she was pregnant and she had just started her job. I can't remember how many months into her job she was in, but she was still in kind of like that trial period. And unfortunately, they told her that when she left to go on maternity leave, that she would have to reapply for her job. Like she would basically be let go. And that, just to know that and have that as your experience while you're pregnant, before you even deliver, and kind of have this fear, like, well, financially, how am I going to be able to support myself and my baby after? And then knowing like, okay, well, I have to cut my maternity leave short to go back to work, and everything is physically on you, is, not anything that we want moms to feel like is their only option, right? So we have calls like this, we have stories like this to share, that we have resources, that you can still work your job and have this business and build it with part-time hours, right? Because you have community, because you have leverage and systems. So, if you are a mom out there, whether you're postpartum or you're pregnant right now, really get back to whoever invited you to this call, so they can share with you the resources that we have in place to be able to support you in creating the financial abundance that you want for your family, but then also, the nourishment as well. So thank you, Jennifer, for sharing your story. And yeah, this time of the call, we like to open it up for any questions or any other stories that anyone, a part of our community, would like to share. If you have any questions for any of our guests, whether it is about the business or about the superfoods and how it supported them in their postpartum journey, please feel free to raise your hand and we can call on you. Yeah, Rita said, I got 3 months postpartum leave, just being supported by residual income from Purium. Wow. Now she can work her business 2 to 3 hours a day and be present with her baby. I love that. Yeah, I love when you mentioned that too, Jennifer, that your first sale was when you were out with your kids having fun. And that feeling is so rewarding, because you realize like you didn't take so much effort to receive, but you could really be present with your family, and you can be in a state of happiness and joy. And when you keep staying in that energy, and things compound, and then when you also inspire someone else to experience that, that's the most rewarding too, through this business. Paying it forward, not just through the nutrition, but paying this business forward to other people. That's when it's really fun too. So thank you for sharing. Oh, Rita, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for this amazing call. And I just wanted to share, it was such a mindset shift for myself when I came into this business, learning about residual income. And once I actually experienced residual income and, getting paid while you're sleeping and following your passions, I it shifts something in your brain where then I'm like, wow, I really don't think I could ever go back to working for someone else or working a 9 to 5, because it shifts the mindset and really teaches you how to create that wealth and that time freedom. So I really love that this community, it's an education, you're getting a step by step, your hand is held, and you're learning. About a new way to invest in yourself and others. And I love it. So yeah, just wanted to share that mindset shift that happens.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Perfect. Would anybody else like to share, have any questions for our guests? Anyone that is possibly on their postpartum journey and needs support? We have a lot of people here that can help you. Okay, well, if there are no questions, well, first, we just want to thank you all so much for being here. I know that if you're in the United States, we have a holiday tomorrow. So we want to wish you all a safe and healthy holiday. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen how you can stay connected with us. So we have these calls every Thursday, same Zoom link and same time. And every first Thursday of the month is when we highlight our hormonal health to support moms and women through, whether it's pregnancy, postpartum, menopause, anything like that. You can learn more there. Every second Thursday, I host our business opportunity call. So next Thursday, I'm going to be talking about the real American dream, right? Which is residual income, which is having financial freedom to live your life and create wealth, being present with your family. So a lot of what you heard today, but kind of expanding a little bit more and sharing some more stories from people in our community. Every third Thursday of the month, we talk about autism, and just neurodivergence and how these superfoods can really support people who are on the spectrum. We are very adamant about gut health and soil quality, and being able to support families in detoxifying glyphosate from the gut. And we have a lot of resources and testimonies from people in our community. So if you know someone who has family members or a loved one that is neurodivergent, please invite them to that call every third Thursday of the month. And then on the fourth Thursdays, we talk about just family nutrition in general, ways that you can have healthy snacks, healthy food integrated into your family. Like I mentioned, I grew up in Kentucky and didn't really eat anything organic, didn't really know much about eating clean. And so having this community, this Million Mom movement, learning from a lot of the moms and how they've made really fun recipes and kind of integrated clean food with still enjoying, your holiday snacks, or having things with your family that can feel nourishing, but still also support your physical health. And then because this month we have 5 Thursdays, the last Thursday of the month, we're going to be covering our convention takeaways. So our Purium convention, which is open to everyone, brand partners, as well as customers, or just people in general who want to learn more about our community, is going to be at the end of this month. And after convention, we're going to have some testimonies to learn more. So please join us for that. And then if you are joining us for the first time, please like, follow, and share. You can join us. You can take a screenshot, honestly, of this picture. Follow our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram. We love collecting news stories. So if you know someone in your community, or you have a story that you like to share of your family's journey, message us on Instagram and we can highlight you on one of our calls. And then definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have thousands of videos, oh my God, over the past 5 years, of all different types of stories. You can use that to grow your business and use that to inspire someone who may not be able to make these calls live. So thank you all so much for being here. I know that tonight we do have our Spanish opportunity call at the top of the hour, so in 15 minutes. So if you know someone or have someone on your team who speaks Spanish, please stay on for that call. It's the same Zoom link. Lucy, I don't know if you want to stay on the call or if we should close out and you'll jump back on. You'll stay on. Okay, Lucy's going to stay on, so you guys can stay on with Lucy, and if not, send this link to someone. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Jennifer, for being here and sharing your story. And we will see you all again next week. All right, bye everyone. Have a safe and healthy weekend, holiday weekend.